Making a really easy broccoli and cheese calzone. I only had frozen broccoli, but you would use about 1.5 cups of chopped florets. And then I have corn on the cob that I stripped from the cob, so this is fresh corn, but it's not cooked. Thinly sliced scallions, about 4 of them. 1/2 cup of fresh basil, which I took off of the hydroponic garden here. 1 cup of mozzarella cheese, 2/3 a cup of ricotta cheese, then garlic powder, salt, and pepper. This is actually Hawaiian black salt, that's why it looks black. This recipe makes about 6 calzones, so you're gonna wanna coat 2 baking sheets. Mine are very well loved, as you can see, with cooking spray before we proceed with the rest of the recipe. First, we're gonna combine our broccoli. Fresh corn, mozzarella cheese, ricotta cheese, scallions, basil, garlic powder, pepper, and salt. Now you're going to stir and combine these ingredients well because this is going to be your filling for the calzones. Now we're going to set this aside. You're going to lightly flour a surface. I use this silicone mat because it works really well for transferring any type of dough. So you want to lightly flour this. And then you're going to take your dough, which I actually am using frozen dough that I thawed using the hot water method. You just fill a bowl with not scalding hot water, but warm water, and check on it every 20 minutes, changing out the water until your dough is thawed. Take your dough and divide it into 6 pieces. Now that we've got our dough divided into 6 equal parts, we're going to roll them out into about 8-inch circles. Most silicone baking mats actually have measurements, so you can get an idea of about how big that would be. So this is about an 8-inch circle. We're going to add 3/4 of a cup of our filling to this circle. So we're only putting filling on half of the dough, leaving a 1-inch border so that I can brush this with a silicone brush dipped in water, and then we're going to fold it over and seal it and crimp the edges with a fork. So now we're going to take this finished calzone that we just crimped the edges on, and we're going to brush it with oil. I'm using some canola oil. Sometimes people will use butter or olive oil, but we're trying to make these the healthiest calzones that we can. Once you've got your calzones all prepped, use a very sharp knife and cut some small slits in the top. That way it's not going to vent and explode while it's cooking. Cook these on the bottom third and the top third of your oven for 15 minutes, switching your pans halfway through at 475 degrees.